Hello everyone, welcome to ParentTown TV. My name is Samantha and today we have Sabine from Sabine's Baskets here to talk about should we really buy organic? Sabine, I understand that you are the founder of Sabine's Basket, so you specialize in organic fruits and vegetables. So how did you get into the whole business?
Actually, it's a funny story in the sense that I moved to Singapore in September 2013 and was doing my grocery shopping, had trouble finding everything I wanted, the quality I needed, and discovered the awesome wet markets you have here in Singapore. Got some amazing produce, and I knew that at some point I was going to go work full time. And I wanted to make sure that I got a steady supply of fruits and vegetables delivered to home, like I had back in Geneva or in New York or other cities where I've lived.
Okay.
And I started looking for a company that was doing delivery service, didn't find any. And my husband kind of challenged me and said, well, why don't you do it? And I laughed him off because I was like, yeah, of course, no, I have no idea. I don't know how it works. I don't know, but then again, I didn't have a job, so happy to take up a new challenge. And here I am, a couple of years later, running Sabine's Baskets.
Okay, awesome. So I think the question that everyone wants to know is, what exactly is organic food?
Organic food, big topic at the moment. So if you purely look at the definition of organic foods, it is something that's been produced and grown without pesticides, without any chemicals and without any artificial fertilizers. Okay. So that's the pure definition of organic.
Okay, all right.
In terms of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. So you yourself have said that it's very huge now. In the past it used to be just like small little shops. But right now we can see organic food section in most of the big supermarkets. So what's all this hype about organic food?
So as the world becomes more globalized, produce travels, we have more access to information. It's true that organic is on everybody's lips, and everybody wants to do well, and we are being told we need to eat organic, but we don't really know what it is. Okay. And it's a tricky world out there because there's a lot of, companies that are marketing stuff to you on the natural or whole food, but that doesn't mean it's organic, that doesn't mean it's good for you. Organic is really when 95% of the composition of your produce is being made with organic produce.
I see. So, having the label saying like homemade natural food does not mean
don't fall for it. It's a marketing trick.
Okay.
Actually, you read the label, and as soon as you have words that you don't start understanding of the composition, it's probably added and artificial.
Okay, now we know.
The thing is that there's nobody really ruling all of this in terms of packaging. There are some requirements that you need to fulfill, but it's pretty vague. So a lot of companies are taking liberties and of course selling their product to you. So be aware, don't get fooled by all the natural, wholesome. It's probably not organic or not what you're after.
I see. Okay, that's very, very good to know. When would be a good time for babies to start on organic food?
Good question. So, as you probably know, the WHO recommends that you start introducing solids at 6 months. What I did with my son, to take a practical case, is I started with banana purees, pears, carrots, mixing in some cereals from time to time. He loved it all. You can start straight away with organic if that's what you want to do as a parent and only feed your son or your children organic. But you can also go non-organic. I guess we'll get later into the question of the differences between the two. But totally fine. 6 months, purees, bananas.
So it's perfectly safe, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, unless your doctor advice,
of course,
and then you follow your doctor's advice.
Yes.
But otherwise, yes.
Okay, so as you know, when we go to the supermarket, we see those pre-packaged food pouches, pouches like this, and they say that it's organic, right? And so, do you think this is actually recommended for moms to use this instead of, compared to fresh organic
Yes, so I think those pouches are handy to have on standby. I always have a couple in my pantry. It's, you know, you can chuck it quickly in your purse, or when you're traveling, easy. However, what I used to do and what I would recommend you would do, because it's much cheaper and healthier probably, is that you prepare them at home. You can buy pouches that are reusable, made of natural fibers, etc. And you just make it at home, fill them, freeze them, and then you've got, because those pouches, they are great, but probably if you look at the list, even if it says organic, even if it says if it's non-GMO, which probably it all is, because otherwise it wouldn't have the certification, it probably has some added sugar and items you maybe don't want to necessarily feed your baby at that age. So when you make it at home, you know what goes into it, you know, you are in control. So I would advise you to
so like, you know, making those batches, you can actually freeze it and then use it at
you have a lot out there where there's special trays, special sizes.
Yeah, I've seen like those, like an ice cube tray kind of.
So on weekends I would usually buy a big batch of produce and then just cook, and it's easy because then when you're running around, or like even for dinner or snacks, you can just grab it out of the freezer.
Do they lose their nutritional value?
By freezing it? No.
Okay.
No.
That's
good.
Good.
The only thing is that you can't keep it for more than 3 to 6 months. So don't make too much at the same time, because that happened to me also. I made huge batches and ended up having to throw it all out. But no, you can definitely stock up for a couple of weeks, months.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think a lot of moms are asking this question, you know, on the ParentTown platform. So is there conclusive evidence that organic food is actually contain more nutrients than, you know, the normal food out there?
Again, very good questions from your readers and users of the platform. It's a question that remains controversial. Some studies have shown that organic has more nutrients. Some studies have shown that actually conventional farming or organic farming has the same nutritious content. However, what we do know is that if you go for organic food, you'll be ingesting less pesticides. It's definitely healthier for you. And I personally believe that if you support organic farming, it sends a very strong message out there, because that means that you care about the environment, you care about wildlife, you care about labor, you care about the soils, the water. So I think it's responsible for you to go with organic when you can.
Okay. It's Sabine, I think most families out there in Singapore, you know, we are most couples are working, and we usually do our grocery shopping once a week. So I think we want to know, like, you know, does organic food have like a shorter shelf life, and, you know, and any tips for us?
Yes, so indeed, organic food has a shorter shelf life, simply because they are sprayed less, they are not protected sometimes the way conventional produce is protected. So what I would recommend is either you go twice a week shopping if you can.
Maybe order online.
Or order online, of course. Yes, you can order our basket. But what's important is, since it's pricey, organic, don't buy too much at the same time. Don't buy little batches, or if you have a super good deal and you buy a large batch, what we do at home is cook it up and then we freeze it. Good old freezer.
Okay, thank you so much for that tips. So I think one of the moms was asking, you know, we all know that organic food is more expensive, right? So if for those families who do not want to dive into organic food 100% fully, so are there any tips out there on, you know, when we can do it partially or?
Yes, so it's true that organic food is more pricey. It's simply because there is no real organic food in Singapore. Everything needs to be imported. The farming methods are different and sometimes lengthier. Certifications cost money, so that's why it's more pricey. Now, for those of you shopping on a budget, what you can do if you want to ensure that you give the best to your family, to yourself, to your kids, is to follow the Dirty Dozen.
What is the Dirty Dozen?
The Dirty Dozen. So it's basically it's an American association, the Environmental Working Group Association. Every year they test about 48 to 50 of the most commonly eaten fruits and vegetables.
I see.
And they test them in the way you would eat them. So for example, a banana, they'll peel it. They won't test the skin of a banana. They'll test the inside of the banana. They test berries washed. And they come up with a ranking, and they link it from the dirtiest to the cleanest. So the ones with the most pesticides are at the top, and those with the least are the bottoms. That's the clean ones. So the dirty dozen, it's 10 to 12 produce, which they recommend. If you buy those organic, at least you eliminate about 80% of your pesticide intake, which, I mean, it's great. So if you're shopping on a budget, make sure you print yourself the list of the dirty dozen. You just Google it, you can find it everywhere. And it typically, there are some foods on there that you have trouble finding in Singapore, like organic strawberries. I don't find them at a normal, not undecent price. You have tomatoes on there, celery, what else? Apples is a big one, cherries, and I saw, by the way, one of the readers posting a question. She had a list, she had potatoes on it. Potatoes is not on the list this year, but was on the list last year.
So the list
changes every year. Every year they test again. And so I saw that she had potatoes, but potatoes this year got taken off the list. But again, if you eat organic potatoes, that's okay. But I have that in my wallet because I can never remember the 12 and I can never remember the clean 15, even if I see it every day. And then I just take that with me, and those I buy organic. And then I know that at least I'm eliminating 80% of pesticides intake for myself and my family.
I think that's very.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a good way to start off.
Yes.
Okay, Sabine. So, where does organic food come from? Right now in the supermarkets and in grocery stores, they all claim that they come from like organic farms, and So, how do we know, is it genuine, and what to believe?
Well, I have to admit, again, a good question. So the issue with it's a jungle out there. There's so many labels. There's so many people that want you to think it's organic, whilst it's not organic. And you just need to know one thing is that in Singapore, you don't really have an official Singaporean organic label. So everything that is farmed in Singapore, whether it's vertical farming or other on rooftops, etc., cannot carry an organic label simply because in Singapore the traffic air is too dense. There's too many airports and planes are flying too low and depositing too many pollutants on the potential agricultural sites.
I see.
So that's one of the main reasons, but that doesn't mean that the local stuff is not good. It's just that it's in controlled environments and it's with less pesticides. So what I do when I go into the shops, and I'm, because most of the food is imported from actually the US, from Australia, and from New Zealand. And so the US have about 2 certifications. Australia has about 7 different ones. So what I do is when I go to the shops and I see a label, I usually take a picture of it, go home, I Google it, and I just read a little bit. I'm like, is this a real organization? Is this a good certified one? And this way, at least you can, you know that these 4 or 5 logos are good ones, a trusted one, and that means that it's genuine organic.
So we can also, do our research before that. And
I think you need to do a little bit of homework. Because nobody's going to tell you, well, I'll tell you it's organic, but it's not really organic. Or my label looks green and it's got like leaves on it, so it's organic or it's good. I snap pictures, I go home, I check, I read up a little bit, and I just inform myself also. Unfortunately, there's no international institution today that is governing all the the organic labels. So every country, every region, they can do a little bit what they want within a certain frame. So an organic in the US is not comparable to an organic in Australia, but it's going in the right direction. It's less pesticides than conventionally farming.
So can you tell us, do you know what are some of the more common and widely used labels out there?
So yes, the US, they have a round logo which says USDA with a bar and it says organic under. That's the one that you showed me on the pouch also. That one is the most common in the US. The Australia has one that is called NASAA, and then there's a bar under it and it says certified organic. And you would probably, if you Google them, you would probably say, oh yeah, I've seen this logo before. Those you can go, it's trusted, go ahead. Not to say that one country in Asia which is really up and coming in organic farming is Thailand. Thailand is doing a lot. They have great produce, so check out and check. Be informed. Know what you are going to put the price towards.
Okay, thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Sabine, for being here today to answer all our questions on organic food. And do you have any takeaway message for our viewers out there?
Yes, I do actually. Well, first of all, I want to say that you're not a bad mom or dad if you don't go fully organic. I mean, really, don't kill yourself over it. One thing that you definitely can do is follow this Dirty Dozen Clean 15 list. Google it, it will be good. And lastly, if you are going to buy organic, make sure that it's real organic, inform yourself, read websites, do a little bit of research, and I'm sure you will soon be a pro.
Thank you so much. So I think for more information, and you can check out Sabine's website at www.sabinesbaskets.com. And thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you again.